There's a viral video going around of Alex Stein calling out AOC, hollering at her on the stairs, and AOC gets all mad and she walks over and she gives a peace sign, but then later she's like, dude, I was totally gonna deck this guy. And everybody, I don't care. Everybody's talking about it. I don't care. It's all over the news. You Google search it. I don't care. It's stupid. It's not news. And I'll tell you why I'm so frustrated. Last night, a video was released of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez outright saying police held the door open on January 6th. Jack Posobiec says she admits it. Well, she admits it. I don't know if she admits it so much as she's calling out what's true. AOC said others on the inside during January 6th were helping, supporting what was happening. She wants an investigation. She doesn't feel safe. I also want an investigation. I respect she doesn't feel safe following that. We've got videos of police officers opening the doors to the Capitol from the inside of the building on January 6th. And I'll tell you why I'm pissed. Because when you Google search this, when I try to see more context, when I want to see what AOC has to say about this, because this is important, all we get is big booty. People are so pathetic and stupid. First of all, I'll say to Alex Stein, I think it was stupid. Whatever, I don't care all that much that he heckled AOC and called her beautiful and sexy or whatever. It's so dumb. And she got mad about it and she tweeted about it, and it's so dumb, I don't care. Personally, I don't think Alex should have done that. It is not helping anybody. And I gotta be honest, I'm quite pissed off that it happened. Because this stupid, immature, bullish is now making it more difficult. It's shutting down the real conversation about who was the law enforcement, who were the law enforcement on January 6th, who opened the doors and let that happen. Who were the cops who stood down? Who were the cops who waved people into the building? I want answers. AOC wants answers too. Hey, we agree. So don't go screaming stupid things at her. I know it didn't happen at the same time, whatever. The point is, I think this video happened after. But now they have the perfect distraction for stupid people who are like, the big booty. Okay, AOC, you are right. I am with you 100% on this one. I don't care about the stupid heckling. It shouldn't have happened. But we can stand here and both say, yes, please, AOC, please put pressure on the Democrats to get that investigation into these cops. Let me play for you this clip, and then I want to talk to you about what people are really worried about, and I'll talk to you about the stupid big booty nonsense. Here's the tweet from AOC. She said, remember how there was tons of footage and evidence of officers and others inside on 1/6 supporting insurrectionists, but then everyone decided it was too politically risky to investigate thoroughly, so they brushed under the rug, and now we still have no idea who or what is safe? Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Who was responsible for this? Oh, the 1/6 hearing plays stupid games, putting a clip of me alongside other people calling for a red wedding or something. Me being like, Fox News says Donald Trump is reporting. It's nonsense. Let me play for you it's a 1 minute long clip. This is it, AOC speaking.
These insurrectionists.
Like Antifa?
And that there were actual officers working with this, and we never got to the bottom of that, and we never got any answers about that. And then to this day, we're just supposed to pretend that that never happened. I have no idea what happened to the people on the inside who were very clearly sympathetic with what was going on and opening the doors wide open for that.
Opening the doors wide open. She said it right there. I made a segment. We were talking on Timcast IRL, where I pointed out that some of these people on January 6th are going to have their charges dropped. Because you can't charge someone with trespassing if they're allowed in the building. And the Young Turks were like, Tim Pool is so stupid. What a stupid argument. Because they were like, there's broken glass everywhere. And sure enough, what happened? At least one guy so far, there's only been a few trials, was acquitted on all counts because the police opened the door and fanned him in. AOC saying it right now. Saying it right now. Chew on that, Young Turks. I'm with AOC on this one. Who were those cops? They're the ones who should be charged, not the dude who bumbled in confused. There's more. She says more.
And I'm supposed to sit here and pretend like none of that ever happened. And then right afterwards, you have a massive, you just have this idea that throwing money at that problem is going to make it go away without any accountability. And so this is where these things are breaking down. We're not safe. And it's not just about members of Congress not being safe. The food staff workers aren't safe. The janitors aren't safe. Like, we need to get to the bottom of this. So that's all I got to say.
What about
This is where I just can't stand so much about the culture war. So meanwhile, there's some dude. So Pablo Manriquez is asking AOC. She's talking to AOC, and AOC is making an extremely important point. Police officers opened the doors from the inside. Who were they? Why? Why did they do it? That needs to be in the January 6th investigation. That needs to be plastered on the media. And some moron is going, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, Antifa. Yeah, I'm all for that too. I said the same thing in my op-ed. I want an investigation into 529. I want to know what happened when the far left breached the barricades of the White House, set fire to a guard post, set fire to St. John's Church. But right now, please, can we let someone who's supposedly the other side, as people would like to say, basically say exactly what we all want to hear and just agree with it. When you refuse to listen to someone you typically don't agree with, making an important point because of your tribal mind blocks, that is why we can't get to the bottom of these problems. AOs, I'm going to stress this once again. I think AOC's Green New Deal is ridiculous. I think she supports policies that I think they're insane. I think she's an outright tribalist. But I don't care to just yell things like Antifa at AOC because AOC is on the left or whatever. I care about ideas. I care about the institutions and how they implement policy based on ideas. If AOC comes out, and you can say, broken clock is right twice a day, good, fine. I want to know who these cops are. Instead, what do we get? The MAGA meemaws, bumbling dotards, who walked in a building confused because police opened the doors from the inside. Now, I'm not saying, right, that AOC is implying some grand conspiratorial inside job where, like, everyone's in on it. I'm saying there were police officers on the inside, at least, that were in on it. Or at least were negligent. And you have Ashley Babbitt being shot.
Let's go.
The questions I have are, how are they arresting these people, these trespassers, as it were, when the cops opened the doors for them, and even AOC is calling it out? But you know what? I'm not saying this about every single person who's criticizing AOC, but there are just too many people who are too blinded by hatred and tribal rage to realize this is good. AOC is right. And on this point right here, stand with her 100%. I'm just so sick of it, man. We have this story from Axios. Trump supporter at center of January 6th conspiracy theory. It's just been hell. Ah, yes. Ray Epps, the guy who's seen on camera multiple times telling people to enter the building, who has not been held to account, who has not been charged. You see, many people think Ray Epps is an FBI agent or something like that. I think that's stupid. I don't think the guy is. I think the simple solution is he was telling people to go in right before they tore the barricades down as well. And then he's the first person they went to, and he said, tell me what you want and I will give you everything you need. I think he cooperated. I think he named names. I think he pointed to a bunch of other people, and so they said, okay, you can go. And then something happened. They started arresting people based on the information they received from Ray Epps. The right noticed that Ray Epps wasn't being charged. Many people started insinuating he may be an FBI agent or something like that. And then the media started defending him. I don't think he's an FBI agent. Why? I have no evidence to suggest that he is. I think he may be an informant in that after the fact, he started spilling the beans, being like, I don't want to go to jail. I'll do anything you say. There is something weird about it, and it is possible he was a criminal informant before January 6th. But that's neither here nor there. The issue is, we need an investigation into Ray Epps. We want FOIA documents. We want testimony under oath, not puff pieces from Axios. Here's what they say. Epps emerged at the center of an unfounded conspiracy theory after the January 6th riot that pinned him as a covert FBI agent who helped incite the attack. The story underscores how quickly conspiracy theories can reverberate. The media is not actually addressing the core issue here. While there certainly are people who think he's an FBI agent, the media is doing this obfuscation by exaggeration. The idea is, when you're fact-checking something, assert the most extreme claim to bury the more rational questions. Ocasio-Cortez comes out and says, who are these people who opened the door? It's a good question. Thank you, Ocasio-Cortez. I agree. I want answers as well. If you do not feel safe because of that, I feel for you. That is the Capitol Police. Ray Epps encouraged people to enter the building. Why wasn't he arrested? That's incitement. I mean, that is a crime. And they said, well, he didn't go in. He's on the Capitol grounds as the barricades are being torn down, and he's whispering into someone's ear, who then engages in tearing down barricades. He is heard saying this. How did they not charge the man? I don't know what he is, who he is, what he does. I don't care. This is what the media does to protect him. And this is where it gets weird. They say it's a baseless theory pushed by right-wing media outlets and Republican politicians prompted death threats, resulted in Epps having to leave his home and selling his business. What does that have to do with anything? The fact that there is a conspiracy theory about him does not change the fact that I agree with AOC and want an investigation into those who were encouraging this, who are opening the doors from the inside. And for what? Lies. Epps, 61, told The Times in a day-long interview from an undisclosed location in the Rocky Mountains. All of this, it's just been hell. After the January 6th Capitol riot, Trump and his allies falsely blamed a number of actors for violence that ensued that day, with Antifa and the FBI emerging at the center of many of the tales per The Times, and I think that's so dumb. We know that one of the guys who went in, a guy and a woman, were known Antifa. But I don't think, they're not organizers, they're not right-wing individuals. They were there, and they were, hooting about being in the Capitol and all that stuff. It doesn't mean that Antifa created the violence. There's a video of men in hoodies and masks breaking through the window. I don't know who these people are, and I'm not going to assert any theories on who they might be. I just don't know. If there was some evidence, I would say, well, look, here's a clip from someone saying this thing. Okay, well, there you go. I don't know. I think that's stupid. I think that an honest, rational person will say Ray Epps needs to be publicly interviewed under oath, cross-examined. They say, zoom in. Right-wing media outlets, including Revolver News, compiled selectively edited videos in an effort to show Epps as a secret government agent who was responsible for provoking the riot per The Times. Lies. Lies. Manipulators. Scumbags. Now, it's true people believe these things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they're doing obfuscation through exaggeration. The real question is, who is Ray Epps? Why was he not charged with incitement? That's it. They can come out and simply say he's a CI. They can come out and just say, Adam Kinzinger tried saying it. None of these answers were sufficient. Revolver News, an obscure right-wing media outlet. It's funny that they say it's obscure when it's got millions of readers. Published its first article about Epps in October, almost immediately setting off a flurry of death threats. Trespassers at his home and family members and friends turning on him. In January, Epps received a letter from someone who claimed to have been brought into the country by a Mexican drug cartel who warned that some members discussed killing Epps per The Times. Epps and his wife are seeking a lawyer to help them file a defamation lawsuit against many of the individuals who pushed the fake story per The Times. The truth needs to come out, he said. I agree, and I don't think it has anything to do with this guy being a federal agent or anything like that. I think, as I stated, the simple solution is, let's go! He was seen there. They came to him. He said, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Just give me immunity. And they gave it to him. And that happens. But because he's so prominently featured on video, and because people chanted Fed, 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 people think he's a Fed. But it's dumb. I don't think he's a Fed. Because I don't think the FBI could do a good enough job to cover up who this guy is and what he does. Because the internet is just too good at that. If he was a Fed, they'd have found out by now. We can kind of tell who the Feds really are. This guy is just, it's questionable. I want to know why he wasn't charged. And again, it may be a legitimate law enforcement thing, like he gave us leads. Okay, fine, whatever. But there's questions, right? Epps fled Arizona, leaving behind his mobile home to settle in a trailer park in the Rocky Mountains. He now keeps a low profile, wearing a wide-brimmed hat when he goes out, but he knows that his connection to the conspiracy theory will linger. They'll always be associated. You can't convince some people they're extremists, and you'll never convince them that they're wrong. Why isn't he featured prominently in the January 6th hearing? Kinzinger said, well, he didn't actually go in, but no, hold on. This man telling people what to do shows premeditation. That's important for January 6th, and they aren't showing it. Why? I have no idea. Let's talk about the media, my friends. Let's talk about where we're at. I'm annoyed by this. I saw AOC tweet about the January 6th police inside opening the door, and I was just like, yes, slay queen, more, bring it. I Google searched Ocasio-Cortez police investigation. Okay, what do we get? First story, AOC condemns dangerous police failure to stop disturbing sexual harasser. The next one is governors protect abortion rights. GOP politicians, Roe. Medium level paranoia and security concerns 3 weeks ago. J6 panel, Ocasio-Cortez toured with GOP congressmen. That's a month ago. Where's the story? If you search for AOC right now, all you get is Alex Stein calling her a big booty Latina. I'm just so sickened by this. So sick of this. It's so stupid. They found the distraction. Congratulations, Alex. Look forward to having you on the show to talk about how they are using you saying something dumb to shut down what may be one of the most important stories right now. Moment AOC confronts troll, calling her his favorite big booty Latina. Rep says she wanted to deck him for spewing disgusting garbage on Capitol steps. I don't care if someone yells at someone else. AOC, you shouldn't yell at her things like this. That's stupid. I'm not a fan of it. AOC saying she wanted to deck him. The whole thing's kind of weird because she gives a peace sign and says, let's do a selfie. I don't understand what she was doing. Could have ignored it. And what Alex Stein did was one of the stupidest things I have ever seen. And I look forward to telling him that. Personally, I don't care. I'll invite anybody on the show to talk about this stuff, and we'll talk about this stuff. He says she wants to kill babies, but she's sexy, and she's got to, wanted to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. What is the point of this? Okay. People have a right to express themselves as they want. I'm not the arbiter of truth and morality. So far be it for me to say this guy can't say what he wants to say. But I can say it is extremely frustrating that right now, what I want more than anything is an investigation into Ray Epps, is an investigation into the police officers who opened the doors, is media to admit the doors were open from the inside, for the people who have been arrested for trespassing, get their charges dropped because we now know, or we've known, police opened the doors. And with an investigation, with the help of Ocasio-Cortez, maybe we can get that, and maybe that would bring about some unity in this country. But I'm sorry, we can't. We can't because Alex Stein called her a big booty Latina. I don't blame him for the fact that everyone's picking this up. It was a stupid thing in the Capitol steps. But now you have it. This is the story. This is the media. Max Berger says, it really says a lot about how media works in this country that this shameful incident and the death threats made against Pramila will together receive a tiny fraction of the coverage garnered by Kavanaugh's stake dinner. Well, you're wrong. When I Google searched this, when I Google search AOC, the only thing I get is big booty Latina stupid garbage. Waste of time, nonsense. It's all over the press. Kavanaugh's steak dinner. That was a bit different. I think they're both wrong. People protesting a restaurant when Kavanaugh's trying to eat is continual pressure of a justice of the court. I think it's a problem. AOC is a member of Congress, and you people protest her. But what Alex Stein did was not protest her. He just said something dumb. Something dumb. You know, I don't care all that much that Kavanaugh had his steak dinner interrupted. I really don't. He had to leave out the back. It shouldn't be that way. I don't like the idea of protesting justices and judges. And there's a certain thing that comes with being a public figure. So for AOC being mad about Alex Stein's comments, look, man, I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but you don't need to tweet about it. You can ignore it. There's something people need to understand. I go outside. I go to urban centers. I go areas. I didn't just move to the middle of nowhere because of the political environment, because of my personal safety as well. Here's something you got to understand. And I wonder what AOC's protocol is for this stuff. When I go out to eat, do you think that I can just sit down and order food? I can't. We've got millions of followers in this network, most of which I'd assume are fans, but a decent amount hate my guts. We get 50 to 60 million uniques, 56 million viewers, around like 35 to 40 million uniques per month. And then with peripheral network stuff, it may actually be bigger than that, like reposting, cross-posting. In 2020, we were getting 120 million views per month. That was like 100 or 80 to 100 million unique viewers. Massive. Insanely massive. Now, the reality is, most people don't watch every single thing I do. Most people watch a small handful. So while we may get like 60 million views across the board, many people are repeat viewers. So it comes out to like, it's probably like 30 to 40 million unique. Because we've looked through it. It could be a little bit less, but I think that's the number. It's like 2/3 of the people who watch. So when I go out to eat, how do I know the person who's serving me likes me? I don't. And what if they spit on my food? What if they put something nasty on my, what if they put cleaner on my food to get me sick? This is the reality of being a public figure, especially with a really high profile. AOC's probably got to deal with this. Kavanaugh's got to deal with it. I think it's stupid. Now, they're politicians, fine. I am also in a position of influence, fine. Protest me. Protest them, fine. What I want is for everybody to recognize, people heckling you, it happens. AOC's allowed to respond to it, fine, because I think what Alex Stein did was dumb. But the media then latches onto it, and it shows you how stupid our society is. That while AOC was saying, investigate the cops, open the door, some guys going, Antifa, Antifa, Antifa. I complain about Antifa all day and night. But not when someone who normally disagrees with me is agreeing with me and saying, I agree with you. If a leftist comes to me and says, I agree with everything you're saying, I'm not going to yell at them about Antifa. I'm going to be like, awesome. Right on. Let's get to it. We can start by solving whatever that problem is. But you know what? Maybe that's what people are. It's what they want. They'd rather have shock drama, celebrity gossip nonsense. I don't blame Alex Stein for the news cycle being dominated by his comments. I will criticize his comments thinking it's stupid. But of course the media latched onto that over the more important comments from AOC. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all.
Whoa! Great work.